welcome. We're going to start kneeling down. So whenever you're ready, take a kneeling position. You may want a block between your feet to boost your seat, or you may feel really comfortable in kneeling. We are going to start with square breath. So square breath is where you imagine a square in front of you. We're going to take a count of 3 because 3, you could extend it out to be a really long, slow 3, or you could make it short. And I find just as a number, it doesn't make us think, oh, when's the next breath coming? When can I breathe in? And sometimes when you're holding the breath out, like you do in square breath, you could get that little bit of panic. So with square breath, you imagine you're square. So if everybody closes their eyes or takes their eyes downcast, picture a square in front of you. And to a count of 3, inhale up the left-hand side of your square. Hold your breath along the top of your square. Exhale down the right edge of your square. And hold your breath out along the bottom. Let's keep this going. You could be using Ujjayi breath as well during this square breath. Remember softening the brow and the jaw and relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Square breath is a really balancing breath. Equal inhale, equal exhale, equal pauses. If you keep the visualization of the square, it can be really mindful. It can help if you're feeling stressed or angry. Helps to distract the mind. Giving everything time to reset, to balance back out. One more square breath. As you next inhale, you could open the eyes if you'd like. Come into cow pose here and kneeling. So lift the chest, broadening along the collarbone, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then exhale round into cat pose. We're going to connect square breath with cat-cow. So as you inhale, count to 3, hold the breath here. Exhale, count to 3 as you round and hold the breath out there. Inhaling, you count to 3 and you hold the breath, squeezing the shoulder blades to 3. Exhale, round in the spine, counting to 3, holding the breath out for 3. 2 more. Coming back to neutral. Bring yourself into child's pose with the hands behind you. If your head doesn't reach the floor easily this morning, just grab a block and place that under the head. Nice rounding sensation to the spine. Let everything go. So this whole week of yoga, we're slowing down a little. So in my 1 hour and my 75-minute classes, which would have previously been studio classes, we're doing more of a yin style yoga. Much slower, just stretchy, nice de-stressing. And today we're also going to go just a little slower as well. Lifting your head up slightly, reaching your hands forward. Keep the head off the floor here. Walk the hands over to the left-hand side. This time you're going to place your left hand on top of your right. So then you're securing that right hand down and reaching back. Means you can really press into the left hand and really pull back with the right shoulder. And that stops that right hand from moving. Don't forget to breathe. Keep it nice and steady. Let's walk the hands now over to the right side. Left hand comes onto the floor, right hand comes on top. Draw back with that left shoulder and then really push down with the right hand to secure that left hand in place. Steady breaths. Returning the hands to the center, walking the hands forward, lifting the seat off the knees, puppy pose. If your knees were together, separate them to hip distance, melt that chest down to the floor, lift the seat bones up. Deepen your breath here in puppy pose. Exaggerated inhales, releasing exhales, really thinking about melting that heart center down towards the ground. One more big breath here. Lift up, bring the hands slightly back, tuck the toes under, come up, downward facing dog. Have a bit of a wiggle out in down dog, do whatever feels good to you. Bending and straightening can feel really nice, working into calves of the straighter leg. And come into stillness wherever you are. Really make the most of this pose. Heels energizing down to the floor. Seat bones lifting up to the ceiling as if you're trying to stretch your legs. Belly button scooped into spine. Shoulders nice and relaxed, no tension in the neck. Holding and melting your chest back towards your knees. Let's inhale, lift the right leg up. And step the right leg forward. Drop the left knee, bring the hands onto the right thigh and push up to a low lunge. So melting our hips forward, let's do some shoulder rolls. Roll them up to the ceiling, roll them away. Come into stillness with the shoulders. So if we can make sure you're getting your stretch into the front of your left hip. Spending a few breaths in each pose today without trying to feel that urgency to move on. Keep the hands on the knee, lift yourself up, tuck your pelvis under, draw the belly right back into the spine and see if you can feel the stretch coming further down into the thigh. Steady breaths, focus on that breath. Exhaling as you inhale this time, release the hands off the thigh and bring them up to a low crescent lunge. Hands lifted towards the ceiling, straight and engage. Chest lifting up here. If you're somebody who gets issues with back bends with your lower back, then take a little tuck under. Find more space in the lower back. Really lifting heart center up. Find that length. One more big inhale. As you exhale, bring the hands either side of the front foot. We're going to have a hamstring stretch, half split of this front leg. You may want blocks. Working back, straightening your right leg, flexing your right toes, toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Use props. Better to prop and do a pose properly than just be hanging in there. can straighten your back a little today, lengthening your spine and lengthening your neck. Means you lift a little higher. So if you don't have props, the key is just round the back a little and you may be able to bring fingertips onto the floor. If you do have props, lift a little higher, lengthen spine, broaden chest. Look a little further forward. Just give yourself a little time for this right hamstring to ease and relax. Take a big inhale, deepen into the pose as you exhale. One more breath, deepening into the pose. Inhale. Deepen into the pose as you exhale. Then rebend the front knee, removing the props off. You may want the left one still under the left hand. We're going to bring that left hand down onto the floor, palm flat. Bring the right hand onto the top of the right knee. We're keeping this right leg exactly where it is. It's just there to help facilitate a twist. So you're going to push into the right hand and spiral the body, revolving it towards your bent right leg, bringing the right shoulder as much as you can on top of the left, keeping that right leg midline, don't let it creep out at all, lengthening your spine. You could be on a block with your left hand, you could take a fist or a scaffolding. Nice big twisted low lunge. Breathing into it. See if you get space now in the ribs by inhaling and exhaling laterally high in the ribs. Nice big breath, final one. Bring yourself back to the center, tuck under in the back toe. We're coming up to warrior two. So we're going to lift up, revolve the back foot out, spiral the hands and come into warrior two here. Walk that front foot so it's about lined up with arch or heel of your back foot. Revolve the head straight into a strong warrior here. Strengthen the arms, just the neck is rotated. So you're looking over your front middle finger, your right middle finger. Glance down and check your right knee isn't creeping in, it's drawing out. You're working the muscles that keep that knee in line with your second toe. Back leg super straight, thigh engaged. Belly drawn in, chest is proud. Tailbone a little bit heavy, helping to promote an external rotation of your hips. Breathing. Feel those very micro movements with your breath. Just being in the moment. There's always movement with that breath. You can make it as much movement as you like if that helps you in the posture. Let's bring right forearm now onto right thigh and sweep the left hand into extended side angle, either over the top or down in front of you. Reach it away. We're thinking about length here all the way down the left-hand side of our body. Left shoulder stacked on top of right. Reaching. Every inhale gives you an excuse to reach a little bit further. Gaze is slightly up towards the ceiling if the neck's comfortable with that. If it's not, just have it wherever you'd like. Breathing. Reaching. Allowing a nice elevation to that left shoulder. Tightening your left thigh. One more big inhale. Sweep now the left hand down in front of you. We're coming to wide leg forward fold. Revolve that right foot forward. And then allow the head just to hang here. Check the feet are in line with one another. Let everything go, round and fold. You could use blocks if you need to. If you can't get your legs straight with your arms on the ground, use blocks here. Soften your facial muscles. We're going to walk our hands back through the legs. So turn the fingertips so they're facing backwards and then walk the hands back through the legs as much as you comfortably can. Arms nice and straight and engaged. Just fingertips on the floor and then energize crown of the head down. Tightening your thighs, lifting your seat bones. Then walk the hands now to ankles or shins or even outer edges of the foot. And then again, you may be able to get a little grip here to draw the elbows out to the sides and the head's a little closer, head a little closer to the ground. No rush with your breath. I'm going to come up now to a flat back in this wide leg forward fold. So it may be worth you grabbing a block. Place the right hand onto the block. The spine is nice and straight. Sweep the left hand along that right arm and lift it up to the ceiling to take a twist. You should feel an increase in stretch on the right side of the leg. Think about length to your spine here. Nice, steady breaths. Let's release that left hand down. Bring the left hand now onto the block and lift the right arm up. Neck can just be however comfortable to you. Should feel a nice increase in stretch. Inner thigh, left side. Nice big inhale, lengthen spine, lengthen neck. Exhale, release it down. Taking the block off to the side. Turning now your left toes so they're facing the short end, what was the back of your mat. Bringing your left forearm onto your thigh, coming into extended side angle on this side, lifting the right arm up and holding. Reaching those right fingertips away, find length to the right side of the body. Nice elevation to the shoulder. Holding here. Keep stretching. Keep reaching. Keep the breath smooth and steady. And use it as your focus if you need to. Let's press now a little harder into that front foot and come up to warrior two. Revolve the head to look over towards your left middle finger. Keep that left knee drawn towards second or third toes. It's not creeping in. Right leg nice and straight. And just, if you want to add a little micro movements in the breath, if that helps you do, or just feel for them within your body. Nice and proud here in your warrior pose. Chest broad, tailbone a little heavy. Belly drawn in. Steady breaths. Let's bring the hands now down to your left foot, which is now becoming your front foot. Revolve the right, bring the knee to the ground. We're going into that twist. So flatten the right hand or fist or fingertips or block. Left hand onto the left knee. Push into it to facilitate a nice deep twist. Left shoulder coming on top of right. Keeping your left leg midline. Don't let that left leg creep out. Find a little length here. Lateral breath. So think about sending the breath into the sides, sending the breath into underneath the armpits, back of the ribs. Bringing that left hand now off the knee, coming into half splits. So walking the hands back, either reaching for your blocks. flexing the left toes, pointing them up towards the ceiling. If you don't have blocks or you can't reach them, then just have a rounded spine and fingertips on the floor. But if you can, and you do have blocks, lengthen the spine here. Take the gaze just a little further forward. Enjoy hamstring stretch on the left leg. Nice steady breaths, just allowing that hamstring to gently ease. Let's deepen into it now. So as you take an inhale, exhale, deepen into the pose. It's just 2 breaths. I like adding this on at the end because sometimes when we're just breathing, we forget we could go a little deeper. Deepen into the stretch, final exhale. And then bend into that front knee, taking the blocks off to one side. Low crescent lunge. Inhale, lift the arms up towards the ceiling. Remember, if you need more space in your lower back, tuck a little under, make the tailbone heavy. If not, reach those arms up, lift that chest. Enjoy the stretch over the front of the right hip. If you're feeling a little wobbly, it tends to be that you've got your knee and your foot, your front foot too much in line, so just widen them a little. Every inhale, have a little smile to yourself. Lift up your chest a little more, reach your fingers up a little more. Feel that energy you can get, that uplifting feeling you can get from your inhale, especially in this low crescent lunge. Bring the hands now down onto your front knee, hold it there a second, little shoulder rolls here, relax into the shoulders, check there's no tension. And then just lift the torso up a little, tuck under with the pelvis, really tightening here to get length down the front of the right thigh. Maybe still in that hip flexor, but also maybe a little lower. Enjoying that stretch. Then bring hands now down to the front foot and then taking it back to downward facing dog. Taking 5 breaths here, thinking about deepening the stretch every exhale. Check your feet alignment. For your last couple of breaths, widen the feet now to at least mat width. Feels a little different in the stretch. Try and keep a nice distance between between hands and feet. Temptation is usually to walk the hands closer, but try and keep a nice long dog here, lifting the seat bones. One more breath. And then we're going to drop the knees down to the ground. Come into a wide-kneed child's pose this time. Widen the knees, draw the feet together. Sink yourself forward, reach your arms forward. Sink yourself down. Walking your hands over to the right-hand side. Left hand underneath right. Draw back with that left shoulder. If it feels good with the knees wide, keep them wide. It's good to have the stretch in a slightly different way. If you found yourself more in a wide knee position the first time, then try narrowing them now. The body's a little bit warmer. Let's walk the hands now over to the left, right hand underneath, left hand securing that right hand, drawing your right shoulder back. Come back to the center, walk your hands back. Coming back to a kneeling position, you can narrow the knees now if you'd like. Hands onto thighs. Take an inhale, come into cow pose. Lift the chest, squeeze the shoulders. Exhale into cat pose. Nice rounding sensation. Make this move a little bigger. Now you're warm. Make it a little bigger. Two more here. And perhaps usually without realizing when we're doing a cat-cow, we often have breath retention anyway after our inhale and then the long exhale. Come back to neutral spine. Just take one roll of the shoulders up to the ears and away. Have the hands still on the thighs. Close the eyes or take the eyes downcast. Picture that square again. We're taking 5 rounds of square breath. Inhaling to a count of 3 up the left-hand side. Holding the breath along the top. Exhaling down that right side. And holding the breath out along the bottom. Remembering to soften jaw and soften brow. Couple more rounds. Final one. Next time you exhale, soften the shoulders. Relax the facial muscles, soften the eyes. Let's take a deep inhale through the nose, sigh it out through the mouth. Let everything go. Bring your hands to your heart center and set an intention for your day. A way you want to behave, a way you want to conduct yourself, calm, smiley, positive, resilient, strong, brave, whatever it is for you. Set that intention now to seal your practice. Namaste.